Twitter. I'm everywhere this morning. Each and every morning with you, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. What else is going on out there, fam? Let me know. What else is going on out there? Somebody's asked me, did I see the World Star video of a dude that walked in on his girlfriend having sex? I saw some of it. It's kind of pornographic. It's pornography. Let's call it what it is. And you can't trust nobody these days. Let me stop there for a second because, recently on Facebook, I was having a conversation about relationships and cheating. It's a Friday, so, give me some creative license here, okay? And I want to make a point to anybody. From what I see, I got a lot of smart, intelligent, mature individuals. So, if you're in the chat room, this might not be for you. If you're listening beyond the chat room, then you might get something out of this. People need to stop playing commitment. You're committed when you're engaged or married. All this girlfriend, boyfriend stuff, that ain't no damn commitment. Now, you might be saying, yeah, you got to be a girlfriend and boyfriend before you get engaged, and you got to get engaged before you get married. You're right. But as a relationship gets more serious and you move toward that ring, then it becomes a thing. Other than that, ain't nobody cheating on you. I just don't get it. And I especially don't get it like when you're younger. Like when you're 18, 19, anywhere between 18 and like I'd say 20, 30, and it's just girlfriend and boyfriend, they ain't cheating. That's girlfriend and boyfriend. You don't have no real commitment with anybody. And after being in a committed relationship for 16 years, like I'll be celebrating my 16th wedding anniversary if we get to it in the next couple of months, where a monogamous relationship for over a decade, that's real commitment. So now I'm here to tell you there's a difference, a huge difference. All the difference in the world, fam, between that ring, that piece of paper, and just being girlfriend and boyfriend. Hey, girlfriend and boyfriend, I do what the hell I want to do. Girlfriend and boyfriend, I mean nothing. People need to stop putting stock in what a girlfriend or a boyfriend tells you. That don't mean nothing. It means nothing at all. Nothing at all. And again, I think this is more of a younger person thing, like 18, 19, 20. 25 years old, somebody 6-7 months run around heartbroken because they cheated on you. What's wrong with you? This other person has no commitment to you. You've been alive for 25 years. You've known them 6 months, and you're gonna commit suicide or break the windows out their car or even go through anything emotionally because somebody cheated on you? What the hell? Grow up. And I think I posted something about the Kardashians, like Khloe Kardashian, who I understand is married still to Lamar. And she's talking about how some other dude cheated on her. And I'm thinking, he didn't cheat on you. Y'all was kicking it. When you're kicking it, there is no cheating. You're just kicking it. When you get engaged, then there's cheating. Everything up to engagement is not cheating. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry, fellas, in my humble opinion. People need to correct their thinking on this. You cannot be cheated on if you don't have no real commitment. And you don't have a real commitment until somebody gives you that ring. Everything up to that is just playing. You're leading toward a commitment. Now, you might choose to be monogamous, and I'm not telling you you shouldn't. It's safe out here. It's not safe out here. I just read a report that said that half of the gay and bisexual men in this country, half of them within their lifetime are going to contract HIV. Yeah, let that sink in. That's crazy out here. So for that reason, I'm all for monogamy because it's safer for you. But to get your feelings all wrapped up into somebody else and you've known them 6 months or 12 months, you've been alive for 500 months, you've known somebody 6 months, and now you wanna flush your world down the toilet because they cheated on you. What the hell does that mean? Am I off base? Am I cynical? You tell me. Brent writes, a commitment should not be limited to a state-sponsored marriage, brother. A ring is just symbolism. A marriage license just gives the state jurisdiction. Well, Brent, I can't tell you that there's not a lot of truth in what you just said. I just disagree with you. I disagree with you in the sense that the ring means something. It's a symbol of the commitment. Now, you don't have to have a ring. You can have a chain. You don't have to have a chain. You can have a bracelet. But some symbol that says that we're moving forward and we have a real commitment. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Everything up to that is just playing. You're playing at a relationship. You're play acting. That's how I see it. You tell me. Mary writes, a ring is the white man's committee ritual. I don't agree. Some people don't want to marry because of financial reasons, especially. Okay, I get you. I get you. But I'm here to tell you that until you walk down that aisle to a serious commitment that y'all both believe in, it's not real. And for many people, and I understand the different cultures, European cultures, African cultures, I get it. But for many people, that ultimate symbol doesn't happen until that ultimate symbol appears. What I'm saying is there's people out here 25 years old, 30 years old, 35 years old, right? You're a grown adult living your life. You meet somebody and in 6 months, your whole life comes to an end because they don't want to be with you no more or because they cheat on you. What? What? Mike writes, being legally married means something. In today's world, I don't know what these folks talking about. In today's world, in America, being legally married means something because you're legally binded to them. I mean, from a man's perspective, until we get that ring, it's just all talk. Just being honest with you. Don't let these men confuse you, ladies. It does. When you get married, that is a legal coming together that is hard to get out of, depending on how long you're together and what kind of business you have together. That's real commitment. I mean, in a capitalistic society, right? Commitment isn't just emotional, it's financial. I don't care what these brothers tell you. When their money is on the line, that's when everything is real. I'm just being honest with you. I'm being honest with you. Sean writes, if you need a ring to symbolize commitment, that's a problem. The commitment should be between the man and the woman and your creator. I hear you, Sean, man. That sounds like game to me, bro. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. That's game. That's some of that game that men be running on women. And I get you. But in American society, contracts mean something. That's the reason why a lot of people don't want to get into a marriage because of the contractual relationship and the obligations because of it. When you're contractually together in America, that's when you start to build a real commitment. For real. Everything else is just talking and, you know, we're going to be common law. He can leave when he wants to. She can leave when he wants to. I mean, when you can leave when you want to, what kind of commitment is that? Well, you tell me. Brent writes, it's all about economics and contracts. Mary writes, it's a meeting of the mind and soul. Thank you, Brent. Mary and Brent are agreeing with one another. What else here? I think I read that already. A ring. Yeah, I read that already. You tell me. Am I off base? I don't think so. You can tell we're well over the 8 o'clock hour, but it's a Friday, and I want to spend more time with you talking about what's going on, and I really appreciate your time you're spending with me. I'll be honest with you. I can see where this is going. I can already see we've been doing it for 3 weeks. Next week will be week number 4, and a lot of people are asking for more time, and I definitely hear you. And I'll say I can see where this is going, and I really appreciate you. Mike says that's when we'll have a real black community when we start to marry. Tell him, Mike. Tell him. It's the truth. I mean, I understand the going back to Africa mentality. There's a lot of truth in that. You know, two grown people should be able to come together without a ring per se, but there's a big difference. There's a big difference between, let me tell you this. I dated my wife for about 2 or 3 years before we got married. Might have been a little longer. And that's because you should never rush into a marriage. I don't care if you think you're soulmates, I don't care how good the sex is. There's no way in hell you should be marrying anybody in these days and times after 1 year. I don't care who they are. That's a no-no. To me, at least 2 years. That way, because people can lie for 2 years, a year or so. After a year, after the first round of birthdays, people start to let their guard down. I recommend at least 2 to 3 years dating. try the milk, fellas, all that kind of stuff before you actually buy the cow. I'm being honest with you. Same thing with the ladies. Because people get married or you move in together and then people change. And who's got time for that in 2016? I know I don't got time for it. But I'm here to tell you from my perspective, okay? I always speak from my perspective. If you got a different perspective, okay, great. From my perspective, from my humble perspective, there is a huge difference in the way that I looked at my wife, or I'm sorry, the woman that I'm with, the way I looked at her, the commitment I felt for her between when we were just dating, kind of shacking up, and when we got married. I'm telling you, the ring, the ceremony in front of God, if you believe that, in front of your family, it makes a big difference, especially for men. Don't let these men lie to you, ladies. There is a huge difference. And so the point I'm trying to make is, you know, you dating somebody for 3 or 4 months, 6 months, a year, no ring there. They step out on you. They just told you who they are. They did you a favor. Move on. All these hurt feelings. People want to go on Facebook. What the hell is you doing? I don't care. I may end up talking about it on the radio, but no, that's your business. I just don't get it. So what I'm recommending that people do is you invest in real relationships. Don't get your emotions all tied up with something that never has come into anything yet. That's all I'm saying. And in my opinion, you're not committed. There's no commitment until you got a real commitment. And typically that's when the ring is exchanged. Now, what do you think? Lakeisha writes, there is absolutely a difference. If you haven't been married, you might not agree. But those of us with experience know. Thank you, Lakeisha. If you've never been married, then you don't know. Then you don't know. If you've never been married before, then you might be thinking, oh, Nate don't know what he's talking about. Listen, I'm 16 years, man. I've been in isolation, solitary confinement, 24-hour lockdown, only 1 hour out for rec. I'm here to tell you from the other side, there's a big difference. I like marriage. There's nothing like it, but everything's a trade-off. And, you know, my wife and I now have a real commitment because we've gone through that process. But that's just me. Everybody's different. That's my take. Mary writes, I'm divorced. What's love got to do with it? Question mark. Keena writes, my king husband have been married for many moons. We have been together since our younger years. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wendy writes, was in a committed relationship for 15 years without the ring. Really, Wendy? 15 years? Now, was that a mutual thing? I mean, I'm not trying to pry into your business, but if you want to share, I'd love to get more into it. Was that a mutual relationship? Was that something that he wanted? Did one person in the relationship want to be married and the other person didn't? That's deep. That's deep. I mean, you obviously can't have long-term relationships without a ring. But I don't think that's the same as with a ring, quite honestly. I think that the real commitment starts when you get the real legal commitment. I'm just being honest with you. This is America. That's how I look at it. Mary writes, maybe I'm looking at it from a seasoned lady's perspective. Okay, maybe. Nothing wrong with that. Sandra writes, preach. Pat writes, I agree with you, Nate. Keena writes, 12 years for us. Rhonda writes, I agree. 2 to 3 years to get to know the person and to develop a friendship. Right. Do you believe in this concept of soulmates? Like, I feel like you can have multiple soulmates. I don't know if there's just one person out there in the world for you because there's billions of people on this planet. And I personally believe that there's multiple soulmates out there. But it takes time to find that person. I don't get it, man. Maybe I'm different. Sean writes, I would love to be married. But after the crazy things I've seen, I want to make the best possible commitment spiritually and financially. Hey, you're on the right track, brother. Pat writes, have been married, last for 2 years, got married too soon. That happens too. I ain't here to judge you. I'll be honest with you. We've been married for 16 years, and sometimes my wife and I look at each other and say, we don't know how we got through it this far. With all the issues, interpersonal, personality, growing up together. You know what I'm saying? My wife was in her mid-20s. I was in my early 30s. At the time, you think, man, I'm as mature and as intelligent as I'm ever going to be. But now, older than that, I realize that I had a lot more maturity, a lot more to grow. She feels the same way. Sometimes we think to ourselves, hey, how are we still together? Nala says, been married 1 year and 8 months. What? We got a newlywed in the chat room.